Namaha, Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Meditation, there is nothing much to say except that maybe I will try to focus on the Sat in tomorrow's meditation. Generally these meditations are they are not planned a lot. And whatever plan we make, they don't happen also. So, but let me say we will try that way tomorrow morning. Now a few questions. How to understand the words mind and heart in the context of scriptural studies? Mind is here, heart is here. Mind is logic, heart is love. Mind is Jiva, heart is Ishvara. We can say like that many things. So mind is samsara, heart is Paramatma. And so some more things will come eventually. Tomorrow in the verse, the heart thing is coming, the same thing will be repeated again. Natural things happen naturally. How do you reconcile with sadhana and sadhana chatushtaya? Sadhana chatushtaya, it is not this dumbbell kind of sadhana. It is called sadhana, but what kind of sadhana it is? So, like Atma, Anatma, Viveka. Means you see clearly which is Atma and which is Anatma. That is the sadhana. What do you do there? There is no doing involved. You have to see that the body-mind is not the Atma. That you should be able to see that. And for that, what will you do now? So will you do some Ashtotra Shatanama Puja or what? You may do it, but that is not connected with this. So what you have to do is, there is no doing there. There is no doing involved. You have to examine your lifestyle and locate those contexts, those values or those traits which are based on identification with the body. See, where there is identification, you see that. And you recognize it. Here is the identification happening. Now what happens then? Suppose I see here is identification is happening and it is false. It is against the vision of Vedanta. And I have earnestness about it. Then what will happen to that thing? It will fall off. Like that. For example, the Swami goes around with a smartphone taking selfies with people. Suppose. Then I see that this selfie is a way of glorifying the physical body and all that. I see that. This thing is pulling me. Is there a way to do something about it?
Place it here.
Yeah, we have to put it here.
Or
A lot of wire is there. Yeah, now it is okay. Now it is okay. Acha. Therefore, I see this selfie thing. It promotes body identification. And therefore, I see that. It promotes body identification. And therefore, now I will make an enormous effort to avoid it. Is it so? No. I avoid it. Is it so? Not even that. It just doesn't come anywhere near. It falls off. It was never there also. Therefore, it is called sadhana. It is, the word sadhana is generally understood by people as some doing. There is no doing here. This is Vedanta. It is not about doing. All doing is over. Karma is doing. Upasana is doing at a very subtle level. Now the doing is over. Doing should not be confused with knowing or seeing, even better. Knowing is all right, but seeing is even better. So doing should not be confused with seeing. Though do and see both are verbs, ing is present continuous, but they are not same. Doing is in time, seeing is timeless. They are two different departments altogether. Therefore, Atmanatma Viveka, that Viveka, the discrimination, that is the kind of sadhana which we are talking here. You see, Mahatma asked, Swami asked me, Swamiji, I am teaching some students, so now how to introduce the sadhana chatushtaya into their life? What karmas they have to do in order to become ready for that higher knowledge? The answer I gave is, you look at the sadhana chatushtaya as described by Shankara. It is not about karmas. There are no karmas in it. Viveka is not about karma. Vairagya. Vairagya is not that I will take it and throw and come back. That is not Vairagya. Vairagya is, I don't have any value for it. That is Vairagya. And so that kind of asangata, non-attachment. Even if you put $1 million there, I will not be interested in it. That is Vairagya. I means not I, generally. Then Shamadamadi. Shamadamadi is also not doing. It is about not doing only. So don't do things that agitate the mind. It is not about do this, do that. It is about don't do things that agitate the mind. Don't indulge in sense appeasement. So like that it goes on. Uparati, give up kamya karmas. It is all about, it is not at all anything about doing. Then mumukshutvam is an earnestness for freedom. So you try to understand what is freedom, and then you would love to discover that freedom within you. This is the sadhana chatushtaya. So if that can be, if that is sadhana, then what kind of sadhana it is? It is a sadhana which is not a sadhana. The effort which is in the form of effortlessness. Therefore, there is nothing like reconciling and all that. So, you may not want to connect this with a natural thing happens naturally. You see, different things are said in different contexts. They all need not be connected and reconciled. There is no need to reconcile. There is no need to reconcile. What is there to reconcile? You see, you know the truth. That's it. That is fulfillment in itself. No, but what about things of life? Natural thing happens naturally. That is how it is said in that context. Okay? So natural, no, so what about, suppose I get favor, what about then? Yeah, favor getting is natural, and taking a pill is also natural. Natural things happen naturally. So that context is different. So, so something is said in some context and something else is said in a different context. You try and couple both and try to reconcile. Not necessary. They don't need any reconciliation. So, doing your duty, doing your duty is the natural thing, and it should happen. It should not be stopped. If you stop natural thing happening from happening, you are playing a bad role. You should not do that. Duty is the natural thing. Let it happen. If you don't interfere with it, it will happen. So that way you have to understand it. Uddhared atman atmanam, etc. Yeah, uddhared atman atmanam. You see, there is a description. They say when somebody is drowning, you help him to pull him out. And generally, it happens quite so often. It happens. Somebody is drowning, and another person goes to pull him out, but he gets drowned too. And a third person goes, he too is drowned. This happens so many times. Because the drowning person, he doesn't help the other person help him. He has to help him, he has to help the other person to help him, you know. You see, once I was attending to a patient, an elderly patient, and it was in the morning, and the bed sheet has to be changed so that it will be fresh bed sheet you put in the hospital. If you put the fresh bed sheet, he will feel fresh, and that will be nice. So I told him, you see, I will change the bed sheet. So it can be done very easily. You don't worry about it. You turn that side, I will pull from this side. And if necessary, just I will ask you to give a little help for me by lifting the upper portion of the body. I will pull it. Then you put the upper portion of the body on that and lift the lower portion. I will pull it. And then you turn this side. I will pull it. This is what I told. It is as if he challenged me. I will see how you will change the bed sheet. He doesn't cooperate. He is not deaf. He knows well. He is well-meaning. He is not a dull guy. He is not mentally handicapped. But he doesn't cooperate. Then I told him, you see, if this is how you conduct yourself, I will not be able to change the bed sheet. You help me. Pay attention to what I am doing. Come on, lift this portion up. Pull it up. Let me pull it up. So you have to tell him like that. Then he obliged a little. And with difficulty I pulled out the bed sheet. So unless the other person is willing to receive the help, how can the other person be helped? So there is nothing like an outsider helping. They have to help themselves. Ultimately, Atman Atmanam Uddharet. This statement is said in the context of psychological dependence. We try to be psychologically dependent. Arjuna wanted to do that. He wants to depend upon Sri Krishna because Sri Krishna is all powerful, this and that. Therefore, Arjuna will remain like that patient which I have described, and Sri Krishna has to help him all the way. Sri Krishna told to stop this nonsense. It doesn't work like that. You help yourself. He did not even say, when you help yourself, I will help you. That also he did not say. You help yourself. So, people should not psychologically depend upon others. When I say that physical dependence is never a problem. Like you depend upon the postman, earlier postman, now the courier guy. You depend upon the courier guy to bring and give you the article that is intended for you. You depend upon the medical man, and you depend upon the milkman. That is not dependence. That is physical dependence, but that doesn't hurt you. That doesn't make you lose your freedom. It is a matter of some convenience, and if some adjustment needs, it can be done also. We are talking of psychological dependence. There is a tremendous psychological dependence in this Guru-Shishya relation. And I have a name for it, and I use it. Occasionally, and some people frowned upon me when I used it, but still I end up using it. It is called Gurudam. That is the name given to it. Gurudam, Divoyam. So in this Gurudam, Shishya depends upon the Guru, and Guru depends upon the Shishya psychologically. That means, suppose you do not oblige me by sitting and listening to me, I will be unhappy and I will be at a loss to do. Now what should I do? I am a teacher, and what should I do now? That is called psychological dependence. We have some acharyas, they are all ready, all spruced up acharyas, but there are no sishyas. And therefore they are very unhappy. This is the psychological dependence of the Guru. And then there are Sishyas. They don't want to learn anything. They want to depend upon the Guru psychologically, emotionally dependent. This is a huge problem in religion. In family life it is there. In family life, husband and wife depend upon each other psychologically, and thereby become a burden to each other. Instead of uplifting each other, they pull each other down. So that kind of psychological dependence is very common in the family, father depending upon the son, vice versa, etc. And then unfortunately it is there between Guru and Shishya also. That is the unfortunate part of it. So it should not be there. At least in the Vedanta it should not be there. But unfortunately you find a lot of it, even in Vedanta. And so this expression, Atmanatmanam Uddharet, has to be understood in that context. Ultimately, you are the Guru for yourself. Atma is the Sadguru. It is always like that. If people pay attention, it is always like that. Because suppose the speaker says something, and that you listen to it, you could block it also. Or you could allow the thing which is said, the statement, to enter in you and make you think and make you see. So much can happen. Or you could block. Ultimately, the speaker is not responsible for your enlightenment. If you end up seeing the truth, the role of the speaker is like the role of the microphone. The primary role is by you only. So that's why it is said Atma is the Sadguru. Outer Guru is outer Guru, but Atma is the Sadguru. That is the spirit of that statement, Atmanatmanam Uddharet.
Swamiji, just on that subject, in the West, the relationship, teacher-student or any relationships, there's a notion of drawing boundaries. So the boundaries aren't violated. Otherwise, it can create havoc. Is there anything similar in Vedanta or in the Shastra?
This drawing boundaries, etc., it is more worldly than spiritual. So, it is more like business-like, And you are working in some organization, you have to take care of your progress, this and that. And somebody else is trying to dominate you, therefore you draw a boundary. It is in the context of the whole discussion, it revolves around hardened worldly personalities. It is. Therefore, it doesn't come into the domain of Vedanta.
can I respectfully disagree a little bit.
Oh yeah, sure.
I mean, I see it, in the Indian context, somebody has psychological issues, they are almost embarrassed to talk about it, especially a family member. So they bring the family member to the ashram, hoping having a spiritual life can lead to improvement. But unfortunately, in a few cases, the student piles on the teacher. So here is a purely spiritual context, not worldly.
No, it is not spiritual context, it is Gurudom context.
Okay.
And the ashrams are not so much non-worldly.
You mean samsara is the ashram?
It is all samsara. Therefore, you cannot find a solution within that domain. You have to rise above all that. Yeah. You see, I have to draw boundaries with certain people. That implies that I am a body-mind identified persona with a set of worldly goals. Now, that is not Vedanta. We don't discuss that situation here, except to say that all of it is wrong. You are neither a person nor your personal goals have a meaning. The world in which you operate is unreal. Therefore, the whole discussion is superfluous. Yeah. The difference between looking of the child 6 months less than 1 year and looking of the sage, they are very similar. They are very similar. We can only surmise what is the looking of a child. 6 months to 1 year child, what kind of looking the child has, we don't know. We can only surmise. But you can make an intelligent guess. The child has no mind yet. It sees what we see. It has the eyesight, just like we have it. It has no mind the way we have it. Therefore, its looking is not our looking, same as our looking. Swami Vivekananda gave an example. A child was having a golden locket in its neck, lying in the cradle. The golden locket, a child has no value for the golden locket. Mother has some emotional value for it. And a thief noticed it. And the mother was doing some work inside, and he carefully he entered silently, gave a chocolate to the child and took away the golden locket. Happily the child gave it away. Therefore, whereas the mother would fall unconscious if anything such thing happens. Therefore, obviously the child is looking, the mother is looking, but the child doesn't look at the thief, whereas the mother looks at the thief. Mother sees a thief. That is not the way to put it. The child doesn't see a thief, whereas mother indeed sees a thief. Therefore, the Mahatmas are compared with Bala. They are so innocent that they are as good as children. That innocency of a Mahatma, it is the innocency is the hallmark of a jnani. Mahatmas are very innocent. They are, for them, they are not cunning, they are not crafty, and they are not clever at all. They are very open. Life is an open book, and they are like children. So Bala, compared like that.
So there is another question.
It is written on the PT book. Thank you. Isness, existence of living, non-living being, Jada. You see, It is Dvaitam, that existence is of two kinds: living existence which is living, and existence which is non-living, sentient and non-sentient, or insentient existence. This is Dvaita. In Advaita, there is only one existence, and that is sentient. Himalaya is not insentient. Himalaya is sentient. How? How Himalaya is sentient? Because there is no Himalaya. There is no Himalaya other than Himalaya consciousness. You got it? It is called Vijnanavada. Also it is called idealism. What you call Himalaya is the consciousness of Himalaya. And a thing called Himalaya cannot exist unless unless there is Himalaya consciousness. Somewhere somebody must have Himalaya consciousness. Then only a thing called Himalaya can exist. Therefore, in Vedanta, we do not accept existence independent of consciousness. There is no existence independent of consciousness. Therefore, all existence is included in the consciousness. Okay? Therefore, now there is nothing like Jada. A thing of Jada is also in the form of Jada consciousness, and hence it is Chetana. Normally the example I give, when you are looking at a movie, on the movie screen, the hero, the heroine, this is the Indian language, not in the West. They don't call hero, heroine there. Even till now this is a kind of a question in my mind. Why don't they call like that? These Hollywood people, what happened to them? Why don't they use this wonderful nomenclature, hero, heroine? They don't say that. They say
it's a different meaning in India.
It has a different meaning. Yeah, something problem is there. Heroine is different. Heroine is different. So they don't use that language. They say leading actor, leading actress. Some silly names. You look at us. Hero. Heroine. So the hero, the heroine, some dance, this, that. And then a meadow. Tree, cow. And a river. And a mountain peak. All of them are there. In that hero, heroine, cow are Chetana on the movie screen. The river, the mountain peak, etc. are Jada. Now you are imagining already, right? This division of Chetana and Jada on the movie screen has no meaning. What you call Jada is the light. What you call Chetana is also the same light. Similarly, Himalaya is Himalaya consciousness, same light, inner light. A person consciousness, same light. Therefore, in consciousness, Jada Chetana Vibhaga, the division of sentient versus sentient vis-a-vis insentient, is superimposed, is imagined, and it is unreal. In fact, I would like to advise the students of Vedanta, if they care for some such advice, look at everything as Chaitanya. There is nothing insentient in this creation. Everything is Chaitanya. That is the meaning of Ganga Mata. Otherwise, what is Ganga Mata? You mean to say there is a Mata wearing a kanchi silk saree and all that? What is Ganga Mata? It only means this much. What you call Ganga is not Jada, it is Chetana. Himalaya is not Jada, it is Chetana. Moon is not a barren landscape, it is Chetana. Everything is Chetana. Look at the whole universe as Chaitana. And that Chaitana is your own innermost self. This is the Sarvatma Bhava. Therefore, all divisions like Jada, Chaitana, they are imagined, they are not real. And if you go to the molecular level, atomic level or particle level, you cannot make a distinction living and non-living. Like you say this is living and this is non-living. But this is carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen as much as this is. Same, 4 elements. Carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen. This is that and this is also the same 4 elements. Therefore, at the level of atoms, there is no division. Till today, they cannot say whether atom is living or non-living. Virus, is it living or non-living? You never know. Cell is living, but virus, we don't know whether it is living or non-living. It has the characteristics of living as well as non-living. The boundary at a very subtle level is very hazy boundary. Whereas in the Vedantic vision, everything is consciousness and therefore everything is Chaitana only. And hence, Sarvam Khalvidam Brahma. Light inside is consciousness of isness, existence. Yes. Living being, yeah. Is my understanding correct? Yes.